What's up, guys? Little from XS here. My last video I did of what's his face shooting snooker got demonetized like immediately. I was doing some military computer work. I went to base today, and I had to go into my personal email to get something that I needed to complete the military paperwork. It wasn't anything classified, you know what I'm saying? So don't be like, oh my God, you got classified stuff on your military. No, it was like a hotel receipt, something stupid like that. Which I think is funny that I care that y'all care about military stuff. Whatever. So I went in there, and there was a email in there from YouTube saying that your last video got demonetized, which is hilarious. But anyways, I was going to do a reaction video to a video posted about Joaquin Phoenix. It's from the channel Looper. And then I thought about it, and I was like, nah, they will definitely. Looper is a huge YouTube channel. They're a corporation, basically, here to crush the little man, Luna Wolf from XS. So I was like, I'm not going to even put their video on here. I'll give you, if you look in the link in the description down below, you can click it down there and watch the original video I'm talking about. There's not much, from what I see from YouTube, I haven't gone to outside sources, there's not much information behind this. But Joaquin Phoenix apparently wants to play, or is going to play, the Joker in a standalone film. So it's going to have nothing to do with the stupid DC cinematic universe, which is it's the dumbest thing ever. I can't stand it, and I want it to die. Christopher Nolan's 3 Batman films will, I'm not going to say always be the greatest Batman films of all time, but his trilogy, the Batman trilogy Christopher Nolan created and directed and all that stuff, will always be top of the top when it comes to DC films. And right now, there's no Marvel film that has topped it. The realism, the grittiness, the grunginess. What's crazy to me is that Christopher Nolan took a film and made it as close. Like, what's funny, he wanted to make it realistic, so he did. And a lot of people were like, oh, that's not with the comic book. But he stuck with Batman from the DC Comics, the original line. He stuck with those character stories and everything. To give you an example, when Bane, in the third installment, when Bane broke Batman's back, that was the closest anybody had come to an actual storyline from the comic books. It happened. One of my favorite. This is why I'm so excited about the Joker film with Joaquin Phoenix being a standalone film, because I think it's going to be good. I think it's going to be, it has nothing to do with the DC universe. So it's basically like somebody handed someone like Joaquin Phoenix and said, here's a comic book film. Do whatever you want with it. Most of the time, like they did with Christopher Nolan, they will stay true to the characters of the comic book. Whereas when you have the DC cinematic universe or whatever, like Batman in the DC cinematic universe, Ben Affleck's Batman, he kills people. Batman does not kill people. That's not what he does. To kind of prove all my points, I grew up in the 90s, the early 90s, and my favorite comics were the Batman detective comics. And I remember one of my first Batman comics I bought was when Bane broke Batman's back. I kind of flipped through it, but I didn't really read it. I had to be like, I had to show it to my mom and be like, hey, buy this. My mom bought it for me. There should be like a picture up here of Bane breaking Batman's back. And I remember going home and reading it. I don't remember the comic book issue and all that, but I remember going home and reading and being like, oh my God. And Batman was a character that I grew up with. I didn't know much about him, but I had Batman little statues. I had stickers. I had everything. I had Batman shirts. I was obsessed with Batman. He was just so cool. He was this like dark knight that didn't want any fame as Batman. He would go around beating up thugs and saving people, and I just thought that was the coolest thing ever. So when I took that comic book home and read about Bane just demolishes Batman, and it broke my heart as a kid. I'm like, wow, this is the guy I've looked up to my whole life, and this guy Bane just absolutely destroys him. What I didn't know is the story behind it. Batman had already pretty much defeated every bad guy. He was getting older. He was tired of being Batman. He wanted someone else to do it. And, he didn't have a real enemy. And then just all of a sudden, Bane, in the comic book, Bane just walks up to Wayne Manor, the mansion, knocks on the door. Batman answers it, and Bane's like, I'm gonna kill you. And Batman's like, whatever, loser, slams the door in his face. So Bane, goes around the city trying to get Batman's attention. Finally, he does get his attention. He meets Batman. Somehow they end up in the Batcave, and Bane beats the crap out of Batman, destroys Batman. And the reason why that was my favorite storyline is because after Batman got his back broke, Bane pretty much owned Gotham. He was running around Gotham doing whatever he wanted to. So Batman was desperate. Bane let Batman live in the comic book and in Christopher Nolan's movie. That's why I'm saying Christopher Nolan got it the closest to the comic book anybody has ever done. Bane let Batman live because he wanted to humiliate him. He wanted Bruce Wayne to see Bane running around the city doing whatever he wanted to Gotham, the city that Batman had spent all his life protecting. Bane wanted to just make Batman feel helpless, but Bane underestimated Bruce Wayne's resolve. Batman hit up this guy named Azrael. Azrael was a superhero. He was like a poor Bruce Wayne. He had this suit he created somehow, and it was really cool. Did all kind of cool stuff. But he didn't have the infrastructure. He didn't have the backing. He wasn't even as powerful as Bruce Wayne was. As in, powerful as in martial arts and stuff. He just had a cool suit. Well, Bruce Wayne was like, hey, Azrael, he's like, come to me, be on my team. I want you to play Batman. But, Bruce Wayne's in a wheelchair. And he tells Azrael, I want you to be Batman. I'm going to give you all my money, all my backing, all that stuff. I'm going to take your suit and make it way more cooler than you ever thought it could be. And he did. And what happened is, maybe here in this photo right here, one of the coolest Batman outfits ever. Ever. It is the coolest. The problem I had with it, which is what's funny, it's in the comic books. I had a problem with it. I was like, whoa, wait a minute. And then Bruce Wayne had a problem with it later. Azrael met Bane. Bane does the famous line from the Christopher Nolan comics. It's a similar line where he says, I broke you. And there stands Batman. He's like, no, you didn't break me. And Azrael kills Bane. And then Bruce Wayne's kind of like, hey, that ain't cool. And I like how I'm going off. This is supposed to be about Joaquin Phoenix and the Joker, but I'm going off. I'm trying to give you my background on why I love Batman so much and why I'm so excited for the Joaquin Phoenix movie. And why I'm kind of almost not excited. But anyways, long story short, Azrael as Batman goes off the rails and Batman throws him out the window. Eventually, Batman tries out more Batmans until he gets better and he comes back. But why I'm excited, this is a long way to get to why I'm excited that there's going to be a standalone Joker movie. Because the trilogy that Christopher Nolan did, that was his standalone trilogy. He's not gonna, people are like, oh, he'll come back for the money. I'm sure he's got plenty of money. He's not come back for the money. He's like, I did a trilogy. I gave you the greatest villains in comic books ever, and also gave you the greatest Batman trilogy that will ever be made. It won't be topped for a very long time. But I'm excited about Joaquin Phoenix doing this because it has nothing to do with the DC universe, the cinematic universe, which I'm not a big fan of. I liked Batman vs. Superman. I kind of liked Wonder Woman, but still, I mean, these aren't movies that I watch over and over again. I watch Batman Begins because that is a great standalone film. I watch that over and over again. I watch Batman The Dark Knight and The Dark Knight Rises over and over again. Those are great films. I've watched Batman vs. Superman, even though I liked it. I've watched it maybe twice. You know what I'm saying? More than that, really, because when you're on deployments, you get really bored, and people are like, let's put on Batman vs. Superman or whatever. But I have not seen the newest film, even though it's kind of old now. But I'm done with it. I'm like, because what's his face, Batman, Ben Affleck's Batman running around killing people. It's just like, Batman doesn't do that. That's his weakness almost. He doesn't kill people. So people hold that against him. That's the bad guys like, oh, well, you don't kill people? Well, I'm going to make you kill somebody. And that was always Batman's weakness. So I hate that it's almost that Batman doesn't have a weakness in the new DC cinematic universe. He doesn't have a weakness. So his weakness is he's human. So, I mean, like, I don't know. It's stupid. Like, I feel like he has no weakness. So the bad guy's going to be like, well, I'll just kill him because he's human. I'll have a sniper shoot him in his mouth that's not covered with armor, or his eyeballs that aren't always covered with armor. You know what I'm saying? So, whereas in Christopher Nolan's, they're like, well, we're not just going to shoot him. His weakness is he doesn't kill people. So the bad guys always use that against him, and somehow Batman comes out on top in the films. But get a little sip of my beer here. So all that said, that's why I'm saying I'm excited for the Joaquin Phoenix film. I can see Joaquin Phoenix playing the Joker. I can see it. Because people have airbrushed Joaquin Phoenix's face to look like the Joker. It makes sense. I wonder if they're going to go with Joaquin Phoenix's face and just put some face paint on him and let him act. The Joaquin Phoenix is a great actor. He made this film where for a year he played this. He played himself wanting to be a rapper, and he broke a lot of friendships. A lot of people gave up on him. People thought he was crazy, and then after the 365 days ended, he was like, "Guys, I was just playing. It was just an experiment I wanted to do." He's always said, like, which he says in the Looper interview about he just kind of does things. And guess who also says that? The Joker. He just he gets bored and does things. So, I mean, maybe it will make a good film. I don't know. I can only speculate on how it's going to go. Like, what's he going to do? If it's going to be a standalone film, will Batman even be in it? The Joker is possibly one of the greatest bad guys in comic book history. But that's always been because of how crazy, how he's been able to make Batman lose his freaking mind. The Joker was always like the ex-girlfriend who Batman, I'm not, whatever, who Batman just could never let go. He could never completely end it. It was always there and always came back. And then that's what's great about Heath Ledger's Joker is when Batman says something to Heath Ledger about, like, you want to kill me or whatever, and Heath Ledger as the Joker says, I don't want to kill you. I don't know what I'd do without you. It just sums up the Joker. It's crazy. It's one of the greatest good guy versus bad guy stories in comic books. These guys, they become old friends, but at the same time, both of them want completely different things out of the world. So it's just weird how they know each other. So they're always surprising each other, but they immediately, like, they know the end game. The Joker never wants Batman to die. Batman probably wants the Joker to stop doing crazy stuff, but at the same time, like, I don't know. It's crazy. So I'm wondering, like, how are they going to do Joaquin Phoenix's Joker? I think if they did this long story about the Joker's upbringing, and it kind of, the movie ended with him becoming the Joker, I think that would be really good. I feel like with Joaquin Phoenix playing this role, they're going to do, like, it apparently seems that they're going to let them do what they want with it. So I think they're going to take an artsy approach. Whereas Joaquin Phoenix is just a movie about a guy who goes through some really bad stuff and then eventually starts turning and turns into this evil character. Like the world terms him evil. That would be cool, I think. If Batman wasn't even in it. They would probably end it just because it's Hollywood and they want to, see the public's interest. They would probably end it with the Joker seeing Batman on the TV or something and laughing about it, and then that would end. You'd be like, oh my God, they're going to make a second film. But Also, Jared Leto, this has gone way too long. Nobody's watching this point, but at this point, it's me just ranting about things that I like. Jared Leto's Joker is making a comeback. He's getting a standalone film, but it will be along the lines of the Marvel Cinematic Universe. So I don't know how good that's going to be, but people hate Jared Leto's Joker. I really like Jared Leto's Joker. Love it. I think it's cool because they're taking... You've had Jack Nicholson's Joker. You can go to the older Jokers, but we're going to start where I grew up. Jack Nicholson's Joker. He played one of the best mobster Jokers. Like kind of the Italian, Irish mobster style Joker. It'll be hard to top Jack Nicholson now. It's a great Joker. Fun to watch. You love him. You know what I'm saying? You want to love to hate the guy. Heath Ledger's Joker. The anarchist Joker. He was the terrorist Joker. It'll be nobody will touch that for a very long time. Nobody will try and play the anarchist terrorist Joker. That's the way Heath Ledger was. He just wanted anarchy. His Joker just wanted craziness. He was crazy. He had little, if any, rules. And then I was like, how are they going to top that? Because Jared Leto's Joker was next. And people were like, it's going to be stupid. And people treated it like that. Jared Leto's Joker come out. This is the thug type gangster Joker. He's got the chrome teeth and all that, the tattoos. He's the thug gangster Joker. And I thought it was a perfect Joker. He didn't get a whole lot of screen time, but I thought his Joker was great. There's a lot of people, like deep-rooted fans like me, that loved it. And I feel like this standalone is going to seem it because Jared Leto, he's a method actor and he's a little bit crazy. That's what I like in my actors. I want them to be weirdos in real life, but great on the screen. Jared Leto, I think, I actually know he's going to do a great job. This thug gangster Joker, I think, is going to be awesome. It would also be cool, since it's going to be along the DC Cinematic Universe, it would be cool if Batman made small appearances. Not big appearances, small appearances. I don't want to see a whole lot of the Batman in this. I want it to be more about building the Joker in the DC Universe. But even though I hate the DC Universe, it's horrible. When you tell a director, hey, you have to make a film that could correlate into another director's film, they're just going to be like, all right, whatever, let's just do some big flashes and bangs and cool stuff or whatever. Christopher Nolan, DC handed it to him. He's the greatest director of our generation. DC Universe, or the DC company just handed it to him. It's like, Christopher Nolan, do what you do, man. And he did, and you could tell it. He didn't. He made these 3 films. I keep going off on Christopher Nolan's Batman. He made these 3 films that are great standalone. They don't have to be connected. They don't have to be connected. He doesn't try to connect them. The first one, he ends it off with a playing card being shown to Batman. It's a Joker. You know, the deck of 52, it's the Joker. Batman looks like it. It's like, whatever. And that's the end of that. They don't try and tie it together. It could have ended right there. And really, the film did end right there. Okay, Batman's on to get the Joker. Second one comes out. It is the Joker. It ends without there being any tie to the third film. And then the third one comes out and they kind of tie it together at the beginning. They're like, all right, the Joker and Batman, whatever. Boom. In the first couple of minutes of the film, they're like, get that out of here. We got Bane now. So, I mean, like, Christopher Nolan, he's a genius in that way. Whereas he made 3 great standalone films and did just a little bit to tie them together. And they tie together so great. So, I hope they kind of do that with Joaquin Phoenix's Joker. I hope they don't look at it as, we got to tie this to another film so we can make sequels and prequels and whatever. I hope they just shoot a great film with a great actor who does a great DC villain justice. Anyways, guys, sorry I ran my mouth so long. I appreciate y'all watching. Check me out, SoundCloud, Instagram, Twitter, and like always, check me on the streets. Hey, also, let me know how you feel in the comments down below. I forget to say that. I'm sure you'll do it anyways, but apparently that's something you got to do on YouTube. I've been on YouTube like 70,000 years, and I still can't get it together about what happens on YouTube. Do whatever you want to in the comments. Check you out in the street.